One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham. Breaking news into the Fanfare newsfeed.
There's no power, there's no water, there's no internet, there's no cell phone coverage. We're just it's a disaster.
Just pray for everybody here. Everything's replaceable. Life is not.
No water, barely got food, everything expiring in the fridge. So.
FEMA is not on the ground there at all. They are not in these cities, not in these towns, and not in these villages.
And now it's the mules and Musk who are coming to the rescue. Check out these mules delivering essential supplies to hard-to-reach mountainous areas. And Elon Musk is giving storm-ravaged residents free internet with Starlink terminals.
This storm made landfall Thursday night. Joe Biden goes to the beach and sits there for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And Donald Trump goes there with water and pizza, and he starts a GoFundMe, and he partners with Elon Musk with Starlink. Here's the bottom line. These people don't have food. And when Joe Biden said on Monday, we pre-planned this, we gave them everything they needed. They're getting everything immediately. I was on Laura's show last night, Laura Ingraham, and there was some woman who said, we've been waiting for 4 days for water. We don't have water. And as someone who didn't have food or water, I remember my parents in the flood when we lost our house. They were like, we want coffee. We just would love to have a cup of coffee. And it was only the Red Cross. The fact that they were in Florida, they thought the storm was going to hit Florida, and they weren't ready in North Carolina and Tennessee and some of the other places. What? You don't have a helicopter? You don't have the ability to airdrop food the way you do in other countries around the world? I mean, there's no excuse. This is an administration. The only reason they're showing up now at all is because there's an election.
You want to go back out and try to help today, and his response was, there's so many messages, I don't think we can't not go help.
Sidham and his son were headed up to Black Mountain. Flight tracking shows no flight restrictions in place Saturday or Sunday morning when Sidham flew through the Lake Lure Gap. But that was all about to change. The Sidham spotted an older couple waving for help, then landed in what's left of their driveway.
Hey, I want you to.
So, tonight's a different kind of show. I told you I was going to basically talk to you guys about what's really been going on up in North Carolina, up in the Smoky Mountains, all through the foothills. What's been going on up there? Asheville. As I've said many times on this show, I have a personal attachment to this hurricane. My wife, who is sitting out in the other room, the hills up there are littered with her relatives. And so we're getting first-hand information. I mean, directly from the horse's mouth. Today, her brother, who owns a construction company, went to not only his family, but he went to the in-laws' houses as well to try and see, is everybody okay? Is everybody doing all right? Is everybody alive? Because there's certain things, certain places that nobody has gotten to yet. The roads are impassable. You have to have the equipment to get where you need to get to. And as of right now, our government is not answering the bell. They are not getting to the people who need the help. Thank God for Donald Trump going up to Valdosta and bringing gas, donating $25 million of his own money, working with Franklin Graham and Samaritan's Purse. I've reached out to Samaritan's Purse. I'm trying to get them on for an interview as soon as possible. They are truly doing God's work. But they can't do it alone. They're not a government agency. They're doing the best they possibly can. Our niece, who is a nurse in a hospital, not in Asheville, but not too far away, has a friend she went to school with who put up a website yesterday and says, I'm out here, I'm doing stuff. Can you help me? Can you help me get to these people? Because one of the things I've been hearing a lot is, don't send money. And I'm like, what do you mean, don't send money? Send stuff. They can't get to a bank. They can't get to a store. There's no place to transact business. You could be sitting there with $1,000 in the bank and there's not much you can do. If you can get to a store, if the store is still there, if the restaurant is still open, we need water, we need food. And what has disturbed me about all this, and even Trump just posted it, and I'm going to show you what he posted as well, is that they're telling people on the ground, get away, don't help, don't take donations, don't do anything. That is really happening. You won't see most of what I'm showing you tonight, you probably haven't seen and won't see on the news. It's almost like it's a blackout up there. It's absurd. I'm seeing stuff that's like, oh, I can't watch anymore, I might cry. It's that bad. And for some reason, and when you hear what Kamala Harris did, maybe some of you have already seen it, but all she did is walked up there and basically piss on a burning fire. She did nothing. In fact, Kamala Harris today went to Augusta, Georgia. She went to basically a black community in Augusta, Georgia. Do you have any idea how far away Augusta, Georgia is from the Smoky Mountains? If you don't know, I'm about to tell you. Augusta, Georgia is down. It's not up in the hills. And it is 3 hours, nearly 200 miles away. She did the same thing with the Smoky Mountains that she did to the border. She got nowhere near the epicenter of where people are needed. Nowhere close to them. It is insane what is going on up there. And it's just like our government doesn't want to, can't help, got caught with their pants down. In any event, these people they don't need to be in government ever again. Listen to this story that's going to make you just be shocked.
Let me get in, you step out and go out, help her in, put her bag in the back, get her strapped in. I'm going to take her down, come back. I'll take him, I'll come back, and then I'll get you, okay?
I originally left my son, co-pilot, on the side of the mountain. It was kind of unstable, so I didn't want to put more weight in the helicopter to lift back off. So I left my son with the other victim, and I was just going to take one person down at the time. And you can hear me in the video talking through with the victims and with my son what we were going to do.
3 minutes away, Sidham spotted a group of rescuers just down the river. He landed and found someone in charge.
Told him my background experience, law enforcement, firefighting, pilot. He immediately started helping with coordination. He gave me radio frequencies to coordinate with them on, set up a landing area for me to come back with the other victim. And in the middle of the whole conversation and then blocking the road off, I was greeted by the, at that time I didn't know, but Lake Lear fire chief or assistant chief maybe, and he shut down the whole operation. So at that point, I felt like the conversation wasn't going any further. And again, he asked me to leave, and I said, hey, I have no problem getting out of your area. If that's what you want us to do, we'll leave, no issue. At that point, I asked him, what was the reason I had to leave them there? And he said, again, you're interfering with my operation. I just need you to get out of the area. I said, sir, I don't know where you were trained at, but I know how my training is, and I'm not going to leave personnel behind. I'm going back to get my co-pilot. He said, if you turn around and go back up the mountain, you're going to be arrested. I said, well, sir, I'm going back to get my co-pilot. I don't know what to tell you. And he said, I'm letting you know. And at that point, he waved for 2 law enforcement officers to come over and told me that again, if I go back up the mountain, I would be arrested.
He flew.
Now, understand what he said. He said one of the people in his co-pilot, one of them was his son. He left his son with a victim so he could come back with these victims and then go back and pick up his son and the other victims. And this guy on the ground, nope, can't go. What do you mean I can't go? This is my helicopter, right? Mine. Here's my license. Here's my vehicle. What do you mean I can't go? Unbelievable. Seriously, unbelievable.
The 3-minute trip back, picked up his son, and left the woman's husband behind.
He would have been arrested if he took the victim off of the mountain. Just think about that for a second. Let that sink in. I got to go pick up my son, but if I pick anybody else up, I'm going to get arrested. So let me leave this guy behind who has basically lost everything because Sheriff Boss Hogg down on the bottom has gotten word from somebody to get these people out of here.
Sure, he was flooded with emotions and trying to rescue other people, and I just felt that it was best at the time to leave. So I did follow his instructions, and I had a conversation with the female victim before I left, apologizing and explaining. She was standing there. She heard the whole conversation, and they were both very, very surprised, very upset. The husband, as I was leaving off of the side of the mountain, at that point, separated from his wife, he was upset.
Upset? Upset? That's an understatement. I can't get down this mountain. You can't give me a lift. My wife is down there all by herself, and you can't take me? Nope, sorry, sir. Why? Boss Hogg said you can't go. But you're here. Your helicopter working? Yes. Is it safe? Yes. And you're going to fly off with your son, right? Yes. And they told you, I can't get in the helicopter. Nope, sorry, sir. Well, what do I do? Sorry, sir. Seriously? Okay.
I can only imagine.
Sidham and his nearly 1,400 flight hours turned his chopper around and headed back to South Carolina, passing people waving for help along the way.
The guy, just imagine this. This guy is told, go home, get out. And as he's flying out, he's looking down and checking out things, and there's people going, help me. Help me. I can't. Now, I don't know this guy's situation. I don't know anything about him. But at that point, just following orders, especially if it's just some sheriff telling you don't help people, I don't know. My inner self would say, I got to do it, but I don't know his situation. I don't know what they would have done to him. But how do you fly away looking down, and as you're looking down, there are people. Help. Help. You're the only person. There's nobody from the government. The government's not coming to help. Wow.
I was actually leaving to go back to get my son. The original chief or captain that I spoke to, his crew and himself, they came back over and said, hey man, we can't tell you to go get the victim. We can't even ask you to go get the victim, but we can tell you if you come back with the victim, we'll have you a designated landing spot, and they won't. We'll make sure they don't come over here.
So he found some guys who were like, hey man, well, let's make this work. Smart people. Hey, how are you going to leave people stranded?
There was no flight restriction when you went in?
No flight restriction when I went in. It went in place 20 or 30 minutes after the confrontation with Mr.
You feel like that was coincidental, or do you think that was because of what happened?
I don't think it can be coincidental when there has not been one in place the day before doing rescue operations, the night of, the morning of, that took place after our altercation. I think there would have...
Why would government tell private citizens you can't help another private citizen? What can you imagine right now? You're sitting in your house, your living room. You're watching Survivor in like 15 or 20 minutes, and a house across the street catches on fire. And you're like, whoa, that's Mrs. Smith's house. And you get out there and you grab your hose and you knock on a door, try to get her out, and her puppy. And the police come and say, if you try to help, we're going to have to arrest you. How does that make any sense to anybody, given the situation they're in? I mean, the whole thing about Samaritan's Purse is based upon the biblical parable of the Good Samaritan. That's what we're supposed to do.
Never been a TFR put in place had we not had that conversation. If I had to do it over again, I would have stopped and I would have rescued as many people until they decided they were going to arrest me.
Well, for now, we've chosen not to name that Lake Lear fire official because communications in and out of that town are still difficult. We want to include his side in this story.
So, well, whoever made this video said, we're naming him. All the news people wouldn't name him. Whoever cut this piece said, okay, we're going to put these people's names up there. Let them answer for what they've done. No more hiding government officials. Now they got to come out of the shadows, and people need to know what the hell these people have done.
And if and when he responds to our messages, we will include that. The good news is I saw a video of a Coast Guard helicopter landing in Lake Lear this morning, so hopefully some of those mountain rescues are underway today. From Pageland, Jody Barr.
Now, see, I don't know if you guys have ever
My name's Jonathan Howard.
If you guys have ever been up into the Smoky Mountains. But it's steep. I mean, we're in Florida. It's flat. Everywhere's flat. I mean, basically, we're 6 inches above sea level. And the first time you go into the Smoky Mountains, make sure you have a vehicle that can get you up there. Because I remember the first time I went and I was like, whew, this is some steep stuff. I've never seen anything so steep. I came from Connecticut down to South Carolina and Florida. I never been up in the mountains. And I remember driving through, and I think I said this story the other day, and Robin had me driving around during Christmas time, and I'm looking over the side of the mountain going, oh my God, there's no guardrails. What? Steep. So what's happened up there over the last couple of days is they had the flooding, and then when the flooding came and come down the mountainside and everything else, it loosened up the ground, and now they're having landslides, mudslides as well. Mudslides that are just coming almost like a snow avalanche, just coming, just taking things apart. And we got our government saying, chill, man, chill. We got this. We're the government. No, you don't have this. You do not have this. That's the very reason why people are helping each other. People are taking out their barbecue smokers and basically cooking for people because people haven't eaten. Actually cooking meat right there. Now this guy, when you look at him, he obviously has some military background. Trump posted this a little while ago on Truth Social. So the fact that Trump posted it, listen to what this guy has to say.
I'm a member of the Florida State Guard Special Missions Unit, and I'm also up here with Aerial Recovery, a nonprofit. I came up here on Sunday with Aerial Recovery before we even got activated. We flew up here, and then we got activated, which is great. I have my team up here working as well. Here's the problem. I'm going to tell you everything that's happening from the ground, what I'm actually seeing, because what they're telling you is complete bullshit on the news, and these politicians don't have a fucking clue and they're lying. And I'll say this now, I'll say it at the end of the video. The only thing I need from this video is helicopters. If I have helicopters, I can save lives. Without helicopters, I can't reach these people. It doesn't matter how many chainsaws and trucks I got, I can't get to them. They're 10 miles in, 20 miles, 40 miles in the mountains. There's no way to get with them or even communicate with them. I am literally flying around in a civilian helicopter looking for SOS messages carved in the mud or painted on the ground, and we're dropping down and saving them. What got me fired up about this was yesterday, me and my team did the rescue of that 11-day-old baby. And all these government officials and social media, they're showing that video, that pictures and video of that rescue, and claiming that like they have some like government helped with that.
Imagine that. This guy is risking his life, getting up there, rescuing people, doing what he can to help them, and the government's doing their photo ops and selfies. Hey, we saved the baby. Look at the baby. We saved the baby. And this guy's like, what are you doing? This isn't time for any selfies and taking gratitude. Help people. Now, just wanted to tell you, a couple of these things, these aren't actors. They're not paid spokesmen. So a couple of these people, because of what they're going through, have some raw language. Some of it I tried to cut, some I may miss, but you're talking about people whose lives are at stake at this point. You're talking about people who everything they own, everything is gone. And they're seeing their neighbors and their friends and their family having to deal with this. So some of these people who I'm sure up there in the hills are God-fearing people, but they've lost their patience. They've lost their patience with the government, and some of them are using some salty language. I could try to take out as much as I could, but at the same time, the raw emotion that you're going to see from some of these people is something that shouldn't be censored. You hear me up there? Don't censor this. These are people, you will feel it coming through as they're saying stuff. Let's continue with this National Guard guy who's a pilot.
And, I mean, even USA, I think it was USA Today, wrote an article about it, saying it was a Florida National Guard that went and got it, like with a helicopter. No, it was me, my buddy Charlie, and a civilian named Zeb with his own personal helicopter out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Like, without that civilian, that baby would be dead. And the old lady we went and rescued after that, she'd be dead too, because she had 1 day left of oxygen.
I got to stop him, because some of you may not be anywhere near North Carolina, but I want you to look on a map. He just mentioned his boy Zeb. It's funny that he just ripped through the names. This guy came from Wilmington, North Carolina with a helicopter. Wilmington to Asheville is gotta be 5 hours, maybe longer. I mean, Wilmington's on the Atlantic coast. Asheville is up in the Smoky Mountains. So these people are mobilizing from way away. They're coming from wherever. The call has gone out. The torches have been lit on the top of the mountain. We need help. And we're not waiting for the government to get around and figure out what we can do. Trump set things in motion. Trump said, I'm going there. I'm putting up my own money. I'm putting up a GoFundMe. I'm going to work with Franklin Graham and Samaritan's Purse. Let's get this going. Don't wait. And so Trump posted this earlier today.
No one was going to go get them. I will tell you, when we go up in the air, I probably see 40 civilian helicopters, and I might see 2 Blackhawks, National Guard, military, whatever they are. That's it. No one's out there doing rescues. I have my entire team up here from Florida right now, and they have no ability to go rescue these people other than what they can drive to. And the people that are in dire need, they're out in the mountains. They are completely cut off. Now, I will say, I spoke to my congresswoman down in Florida, and she's a badass, and she made a bunch of phone calls, and now we got 2 contracted 60s coming up here tomorrow, which is great. I love that, but like, I still don't understand why we don't have more helicopters. Like, we'll get a lot of work done with that, but there's no military. There's no one's doing nothing.
No one's doing nothing. His words, not mine. I would have said no one's doing anything. I'm kidding. But no one's doing anything. And I understand logistics. Trust me, I understand logistics. I understand that you can't pull sources from here because they're also needed there, and we also have to have defense of the coast, and I understand all that. What I don't understand is if there are people who are capable of doing things, people who are trained to do things, people who have the experience and wherewithal to get stuff done, why would the government inhibit them? They didn't ask the government for anything. He called whoever it was here in Florida and said, I need a couple helicopters. Whoever it was made a couple calls. Hey, we got a couple helicopters coming your way. People getting stuff done. I'm sure Ron DeSantis said, give them a couple helicopters.
It blows my mind. And they're not even allowing people to see what's really going on. One of our friends yesterday, they were actually escorting CNN down at Lake Lear, and they wouldn't even let CNN, the sheriff department would not let them go videotape the bad areas.
Why? Why are they not letting people see what's happening? See, one of the problems that they're having at this point, which we all know, is the fact that Trump mentioned it yesterday. He's going to get some Starlinks from Elon Musk. And so Elon Musk is sending up dozens of these things so that people can get communications back up. So now as people are getting more communications, what are they doing? Oh, let me take a picture and video of this. Let me show you what is going on. They didn't want that. They didn't want the news people coming out there and beaming it out. They didn't count on people having their own communications. In fact, I think it was probably Trump who spearheaded Elon Musk to say, link it up. Let's get some communications up. Let's let these people contact other people. Let's get them online. Where they need to do what we got. And now the videos are just, they're all coming out. They're all coming out. And I'm watching private individuals like this guy basically put our government to shame.
How destructive it is. I don't know why they don't want to show you all that. But, I mean, it is bad. I should also say, when I flew here on Sunday, they actually stopped us from going in, the sheriff department. And it was because of a bunch of politics that they were claiming was the Speaker of the House of North Carolina that was preventing us from even going in and trying to...
Love to know who that was. Who's the current Speaker of the House of the state of North Carolina? And why would he be stopping people from going in? And why would it be the Speaker of the House of North Carolina that has any say whatsoever in rescue operations? God forbid, I'm telling you right now, if I go off into the water and I'm bubbling, don't wait for the government to tell you it's okay to save me.
Kick us out, which I have clarified today with North Carolina politicians that reached out to me, good on them, and they were like, that's complete bullshit. Speaker of the House has nothing. He wants you guys there. But this is the kind of political BS that is happening here right now. Like, everyone's trying to be in charge without taking any type of action. Nobody...
And at the same time, they're all attacking Mark Robinson because of some website that may or may not have been him years ago talking about what he wants to do with a woman. And yet Mark Robinson is on the ground mobilizing and getting people food and water. He's not waiting. No, hey, I'm the lieutenant governor today. While I'm still the lieutenant governor, let's kick some butt and get these people some help.
Wants to coordinate with anybody. Everybody wants to pretend like they're being the hero while these people are literally fucking dying in the mountains.
Sorry.
And these people, like I'm saying, these people are limited medication. They're running out of oxygen, and there's no one going to get them.
And by the way, he's telling the truth. They are dying right there. Robin sent me a story today, and I'm like, I can't show this. But there was a doctor that was going from damage to damage and basically pulling out dead bodies, basically seeing if any of them are alive. And then he just broke down. He just couldn't take it anymore. It's just too many dead bodies. 120, 130, that's what they're saying on the news? Not a chance. They're not even letting people know what's really going on. This poor guy's a doctor, so you imagine he has seen some of the worst things. And he's pulling bodies out, and it just overcame, just too much for him.
The most effective way I have found to go find these people is by getting in a helicopter and flying down the rivers and roads and looking for SOS messages or people waving us down. And then we drop down and get them. We have all these people here. We have law enforcement. We have State Guard, National Guard. They have no way to go get these people. Yesterday when I was at the...
How can we be in 2024 with everything that our military has? How can we not be mobilized to go get these people? How could it be possible?
Asheville Airport refueling, which, by the way, the civilian is paying all this out of his own pocket. He's not even looking for a reimbursement. I think we did 4 refuelings yesterday. And that was like just in half a day's work. We're in Asheville, and I saw 2 Air Force Helicopter 60s. And I knew they were PJs, just looking at them. And I went up to them, I'm like, hey guys, like, what are y'all doing? And like, this is what you need to be doing. This is how I'm finding people. And they're like, we can't go. We're waiting on Title 10 orders.
You're flying around in a helicopter checking stuff out, but you can't help people because nobody has given you the order to help people. But they're right there waving at you. Hey, help me, help me, help me. We don't have the orders. We don't have papers. What do you need to help a human being? And I think it's probably going through your mind right now, so I'm going to say it. We watched Tim Walz sit on a debate stage yesterday and try to quote the Bible about the least of us. Your government, your running mate, the vice president, ain't worried about the least of us. These people need help, and she's out there dancing around for a photo op. Dementia Joe, he doesn't even know where he is. This is disgusting.
And I'm like, what? They can't get any authority. There's military helicopters all over here sitting on the ground, and they can't do nothing. Even my JSOC boys in Fayetteville, they can't get orders to come out here. It is just the most disgusting thing, and they're killing these people. And I don't...
Somebody needs to answer for that. Somebody somewhere has to take responsibility for these, or accountability for these lives being lost and what these people are going through.
Know why they're doing it. I don't know what kind of conspiracy. I've heard so many things, whatever you want to come up with, but they are literally allowing these people to fucking die in the mountains.
Sorry about that.
Right now, because we can't get helicopters. They got money for everything else in the fucking world right now.
He's right. Billions are being sent over here to, Mr. Zelensky. Billions. Hey, ship them over tanks and missiles and sell them airplanes. And hey, man, there's some people up in the hills that need some help. What are we gonna do? What are you doing?
But if they could just get us helicopters, we could fly out there and rescue these people. So I hope this video goes viral. I hope these politicians get fired. I hope people get pissed off. They'll probably kick me out of the state of North Carolina for doing this. But you know what? I don't care, because if I can save one more life for it, it's fucking worth it to me.
So Trump pushed that out. Trump wanted to let people know, see what's going on? See how inept this government is? Again, I apologize for some of the language you're going to hear, but this is raw. These people have had it. And before you judge them and say, oh, they're swearing and they're using expletives, put yourself in their situation. He's not even one of the victims. He's a guy that's trying to help, and it's hitting him hard. I can't even imagine, like this next lady who's going to be talking, how she feels. So it's been a couple minutes, so I'd like to take, I see the chat is flying here. Good question. Where is the help from the rest of the world? We're the first ones to land someplace. We are the first group of people to go anywhere, anytime something's wrong. England? Trudeau? Canada? Anybody cutting checks down here? Anybody maybe they are behind the scenes. Maybe now Kamala and Joe have, it's pretty bad. Oh, let's see what we can do. But we're like 4 or 5 days into this. You don't eat for 4 or 5 days or drink water for 4 or 5 days and be sitting in the mud. Let me know how you'd feel. Let me know. You see me. You can look at me. If I don't eat for like 12 hours, I'm ready to chew the microphone. I have to have water right next to me while I'm talking. Now imagine, it's a little bit cooler right now up in the Smoky Mountains area, but it's still in that sun, gonna hit 80, 85. Stuff's starting to stink right now. You need water, and they can't even get water. It's us versus the world. Yeah, true. We are on our own in more ways than one. That's for sure. Barry, don't apologize for the bad words. I'm mad as hell. We all should be. I keep saying it in my videos. At some point, people have to say I'm mad as hell and not taking it anymore. You have done so much for these newcomers. You bend over backwards. You're flying them around in Lear jets. Anywhere they want to go. Anywhere you want to go. Here's a ticket to Boston. Oh, you can go to Chicago. Oh, there's L.A. Go wherever you want to go. Oh, by the way, you need some cash? Let me front you about 10 grand. You pissed yet? And we got people in America, up in the mountains, starving, and at this point, with nothing. Not even a hotel that a newcomer has. They're sleeping. If you can go to sleep in that kind of condition, you're probably shivering from being wet and walking through the mud. And the reason I'm telling you is because if you haven't been up there, it isn't like your next door neighbor is on a 0 lot line right there. Your neighbor may be, if they're still around, might be a mile away. Think about that. It's not an apartment complex. It's not a subdivision with 30 or 40 houses where you can say, hey, I need some help. Hey, can you get over here? You open the door and things are washed away, and the nearest gas station, if it's still there, and the nearest neighbor may be half a mile to a mile away. You know what else is getting hungry right about now? Whatever animals survived are going to get hungry right now. They are in such a precarious situation that it becomes survival of the fittest at this point. And then you're telling me that you got newcomers up there looting? No. Yeah, they will give aid to them. That's it. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at something. Just like with Maui, do they want the land? I don't know. I can tell you there's some really prime real estate up there. They're a mile away at the least, and down in the hollers could be even further. Yeah. If you've never been up there, it's beautiful country. I mean, the first time I went up there and, with my white wife, 30 years ago, and I'm going around and I'm like, oh, is this where they filmed the movie? Where Ned Beatty was squealing like a pig, because I'm like, I don't know if a brother's supposed to be up here. I was like, oh, I swear to God, I actually said that to Robin. I'm up here. I could disappear. You'd never even know I was up here. She's like, yeah, don't mess up. Whew, the days. Oh, the good old days. All right, so, yeah, Trump is amazing helping these people. I can only take... I can only do so much with the comments right now, because I don't want this to last too long, because there's so much that you guys need to see. So I'm not ignoring you. I just want to just let you see this. So this is a woman, and she's talking about what she's going through right about now.
Well, you're going to have to just excuse my appearance, because we have no power. We have no running water. But I'm just so pissed off that I've got to make this clear. We got a notification from TEMA. I'm guessing that's FEMA for Tennessee. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's supposed to be the disaster relief people, but they were like, "Do not donate your time. We don't want you to donate time unless we ask for you, and we don't want you to donate stuff to other people. You need to just donate money and stuff to us and get your instructions from us and listen to us." What? And then They said yesterday, we don't go into areas that the roads are not easily accessible. What? You are the disaster relief people. Like, that is your job, to go into the areas that are hit by disaster. And
you got one job. She's absolutely right. You have one job. You wait till the phone rings. When the red phone rings, that means people need help. You got one job. What do you mean don't do anything? What are you doing?
provide relief, not to just go to the easy area and sit and wait for the people that are in the disaster area to be able to come to you. The roads that we do have were cleared by the locals, and you have to have trucks and stuff to be able to get through there. Like, it's just beyond me. So, and you have us all messed up. If you think you're going to come here and bark orders at us and then expect the people just to give you the money and us trust that you're going to try to take care of us when you don't go into areas that are not easily accessible.
There's one thing I want to say about this woman, and I have to say it not just about her, but some of the other people you may see. Don't for an instant, and I think this is where a lot of Northerners and people who aren't used to the South get themselves in trouble. Don't for an instant think that because they have a Southern accent and they talk a certain way, that these people, number one, aren't brilliant, meaning they are brilliant, so don't think they're not. And two, don't think they're slow. Don't think you're going to pull the rug over their eyes. And three, don't expect them to be like people that you have in these blue cities who are willing to take your crap. You would think that people from TEMA, the Tennessee Emergency Management, and some of these other places that are basically where a lot of people reside that aren't from the city, would understand. Don't mess with these people. Don't tell them they can't do what they need to do. These people have lived their entire lives. When Robin's dad was alive, he was born in the house that he was living in until he had to go to the hospital. He was born there. These people have been in these hills, family-wise, for decades. They know more about what's going on and who's doing what than any other bureaucrat could possibly do. They've been paying their taxes. These are people who are religious to the government. They have done everything the government has told them to do over decades. It's only been in the last 10 years that a lot of people are waking up and going, what are you doing? You've turned Asheville into this liberal nut bag of bastion of people. Used to be a nice country town. What happened? Why are people in certain cities? Why is Charlotte the way it is? That's why people got away from Charlotte, because Charlotte became too much of an inner city. Then you went ahead and you elected a Democrat governor, Roy Cooper. I've seen Roy Cooper on one interview. One. DeSantis is everywhere. DeSantis is like, we're going to go up to North Carolina and take a look at it. So I just want you to understand, as you're listening to a woman and a couple of people here who have Southern accents, don't take that stuff lightly.
What? Like, this is Cott County, girl. So, donate to our local churches, because they will make sure that the people that are need it will get it. And you need to just, while we appreciate what help you're trying to provide, I don't think you understood the assignment, because it's not to just go to one location in hopes that the people in the disaster area can make it to you. So just sit back and watch, and we'll show you how it's done, but we're not going to stop. So,
if you haven't heard it, go on not Netflix, but like, I don't even know where you download music, Spotify or somebody, and download the song "A Country Boy Can Survive" by Bocephus. You know, other people take that as a Southern anthem. They think it's a fantasy, fiction. The Southern boy will survive. The Southern women will survive. They're not going to wait for the government to come and help them. They are all going to get together the way they've gotten together their entire lives. If it means that Charlie down the road's going to basically cook a pig and Jim over here is going to bring in some greens, they're going to eat once they can get everything set up. They're not going to wait for the government, which is probably why the government's pissed off, because I think that the government wants these people dependent upon them. You see, a dependent population is controlled. They don't want these people coming out with the gun and going, there's a hog, boom, we're going to eat. Oh yeah, they'll do that. Oh, there's a bear, boom, we're going to eat. I know a couple of Robin's relatives, and I never knew what a bear dog was. Y'all know what a bear dog is? It's probably big old Akita looking dog that'll chase a bear up a tree so that you can take that bear down to eat, not to hunt for sport. I'm telling you, these people, the country people, will survive. They are not going to wait for the government. It's driving me crazy when I'm hearing the government say, just hold on, we'll take care of things. No, that means you want control. You're telling people not to help them. Don't fly them out. Don't do this. Why? Why don't you want these people to be self-sufficient? You know, once the water, and I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the mudslides and everything else, there is some water. There's creeks up there. You could literally cup your hand and drink. It's just clear, cold water. Cold springs, just running. Robin's dad had one right in front of his house. She's like, you can drink right out of that. What? You can just drink that water? Yep. Oh, wow. It's cold, too. Right now you can't because of everything that's running through it. They don't want these people to be self-sufficient again. I don't know what nefarious plan's in place, but something's afoot.
Please, and thank you.
What the government is doing right now to the entire
All right, so this
state of North Carolina.
This girl's a little hot. I mean, she's really hot. She's gonna drop a couple F-bombs here. So if you're a little tender, you might want to skip this section for about the next 2 or 3 minutes, because she's talking about her auntie. Or is it grandma? One of the two. And she ain't happy about what's happening to her relatives.
In Tennessee is a nothing short of just plain awful. Like, I do not physically have the words for it. Because if you don't know, we have not heard from my aunt since Friday. Because
Friday. Today's Wednesday night.
Of Hurricane Helene. And there is no government aid. None. Zero. Zilch.
See, that's not what you're hearing. You're hearing people say, oh, we're the government. We're here to help you. We're going to take care of things, right? Oh, we've got them on the ground. We're doing some things. That's what you've been hearing.
There's a few, but it's small government offices mainly run by civilians. Because you want to know what's happening right now in North Carolina and Tennessee? There are entire towns that there is no way in or out. Those roads are not drivable because of the mudslides and the power lines and the downed trees. There are doctors right now physically walking across that because their cars can't get through to go help these people, to go check on these people. There's a mudslide by my aunt's house because she lives on a mountain. She lives in the middle of it. There are currently civilians digging that mudslide out with their bare
She about to drop an F-bomb.
Hands. That's what's happening right now.
So if you haven't seen what a mudslide or landslide looks like, it's not like water where it just rushes through. The mud comes through and it stops, and it could be feet deep. And it basically goes over top of whatever's in its way. It comes in fast, it doesn't leave. It basically claims the area that it slides over. So if your house, your car, your relative gets stuck, they're going to be under a couple feet of mud. So this woman is hot because her aunt is in trouble.
There's no power. There is no water. They have no supplies. And the government is currently trying to arrest people who are delivering supplies via helicopter.
You're not going to see this on the news, maybe because she drops the F-bombs, but you're not even going to see segments of this on the news. No one on the news is going to tell you that they are arresting people who are trying to help each other. I don't get it. To me, if I'm driving by something and I see somebody getting in an accident, I'm not going to go, oh, that looks like it hurts. I'll be right here. No, you help them. Now, I'm not a paramedic, and I've never been an EMT, and I'm not sure if I'm going to basically injure somebody if I take them out. But if I see them stuck and I start seeing flames, I'm not going to go, oh, whoa, I hope the fire engine gets here pretty quick, because I don't think you'll make it. Hell no. None of us want to do that. I've gotten in fights because I was in a bar or something and I watched a guy slap a woman. And I'm like, whoa, hey, bro, that ain't happening. Or should I have just said, you know what, let me go get the cop outside. Honey, hope you're okay for the next couple punches, because I can't do anything. I can't interfere. They told me, if you're getting lumped up, if guy's smacking you around and turning you into Lumpy Rutherford, I got to stand off. I can't intervene and help you. That's what your government is saying right now to people.
They are threatening to arrest those people. They are threatening to arrest people who are trying to fucking
F-bomb.
Help people survive. My aunt is 70 years old with mobility issues. And you want to know what the government's fucking doing? Jack shit. But you want to know what the civilians, the people here in America, are doing? I have had several people on this platform alone reach out to me and go, oh, this doctor's going there. I'll tell them and they'll tell the fire department. I'll put the word into all these shelters. I'll do this. There is somebody right now in Burnsville, North Carolina. His name is Warren. And he himself, he's a real fucking hero.
Sorry.
I'll tell you that. He got together a list. He went door to door to people's houses to make sure that they were okay. Door to door. Wrote their names on a list and posted it on Facebook.
Imagine that. Someone's taking accountability and they're going door to door. Hey, Mrs. Jones, you're okay? How we doing? I got to let your relatives know I still have access to my computer or phone. I can let people know you're okay. I'm living, son. I'm living. All right. Everything okay? Go hang out? I'll be okay. Go see what Mrs. Smith looks like next door. And this kid is going from door to door doing this stuff, and there's nobody from the government anywhere. It's just not there. But they're not telling you this on the news. Pissed off yet?
So families could see if their family members were alive or not. His wife is currently making food for everybody.
That's what they do. That's what I would do. I mentioned to you when we've had hurricanes, you just bring out the barbecue grill, hit up the propane, start cooking for people.
And you want to know what the government is doing? You want to know what Kamala Harris is doing right now? You want to know what Joe Biden's doing?
She gonna drop one.
Joe Biden said we're doing all that we can for North Carolina. Kamala Harris is currently having a fundraiser for her campaign in LA and Las Vegas. Not for the people in North Carolina or Tennessee. For her fucking campaign. Fuck them.
Desperate is your situation, and what are your biggest needs?
I think they thought Carolina was a swing state. If these people can find a way to vote in a month, if the roads are clear, if there's some place for them to go to vote, which may also be the plan. Hey, if they can't vote, this is predominantly a white area. These are Trump people. Maybe they won't be able to vote. We can take the state. You better pray that's what's going to happen. You better pray that these people can't get to polling precincts, because if these people can get to polling precincts, North Carolina is off the table. You're done, Kamala. They're coming for you. In fact, I think at this point, these people will put on modified snowshoes and walk through a mudslide to do anything they have to do to vote you the hell out of office. Especially if my little 70-year-old Nana could eat and you're not doing anything? And there's lots of them up there. Don't think for an instant that these people don't have, relatives in South Carolina and in Tennessee, in Georgia. You just saw Trump was in Valdosta yesterday. You don't think that's going to spread too? $25 million of his own money? Wow. Maury knows it was perfectly timed. Yeah, I don't know if these people are going to be able to make it to do anything. There's a what's this say? There's a minute there that's mining material for car chips. Oh, the lithium. You're talking about all the lithium. Absolutely. They don't care about the people. People are saying, okay, I wanted you to know, somebody said it's not about votes. I'm not the one saying that. What I'm saying at this point is if this thing is being slow-rolled for a reason, I'm trying to find a reason why you're letting these people suffer. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let's see here. It's weather manipulation, and I believe this was intentionally created. I can't prove that, but I've heard people talking about it. She has the right to be angry. I think every single one of you would feel the exact same way if that was your nana, your auntie, who's stuck someplace and you can't get to her. You feel completely helpless. Yes, Asheville is a very blue part of the state. I understand that. However, all around there, Asheville is just like this piece, but all around Asheville, there's people there who aren't blue. Just put it that way. Yeah, this is what happens in third world countries. Exactly. Lithium and quartz deposits all through there. Why would you not let these people get some help? Let's see here. They just don't care. If we don't care for each other, then we are SOL. Yeah. We will survive here in Tennessee. We help each other like we always do. All right. So you're getting the point here. So now next person up to tell their story is a very distraught mayor from Asheville.
Right now. We are still in crisis mode here in our community. We are still looking for survivors and confirming others have made it through the storm. We have folks that are in areas where the roads have washed out and the bridges have washed out. So getting confirmation about people, whether or not they're made it through the storm or not, is challenging in some of those remote parts. And on top of that, we have a lack of cell service. So, folks can't get on their phone and just call a loved one and say, let everyone know I'm okay. We're not able to do that. But we've seen an incredible system across our city and our county of making sure everyone is accounted for. But that's taking some time. As you've said, there's still several hundred people that we need to make sure are okay. And that process hasn't finished yet.
So you still have 700 people that are unaccounted for as of this hour?
It's as of this afternoon, I think it was around 600. That number may have changed at this point.
Of course it's changed. She has no idea. There is literally no idea who's under that rubble. None. There's no possible way for you to know. You're basically trying to take a poll. Hey, is your brother here? Your brother get home? How did you contact them? Understand what she just said at the beginning part of this interview with Caitlin Collins. She said cell service has been hard. There's no cell service. Well, how are you taking a head count? You're sitting in some cushy office. Your building seems to work. How are you out there taking a head count if we know that the authorities aren't doing it and you have no cell phone? Cell service. How are you doing it? What, burn a flag? Teepees? How are you finding out how many people are missing?
But it was it was still a lot of folks that we need to be able to reach, and so that is the priority. But we also are in a situation where we don't have water and power.
You do. I see you sitting in office. And obviously you've had water, you definitely have power.
In most areas, and we do need resources like drinking water. and food and other, household supplies and personal supplies that people might need if they have children, formula, diapers, all the sorts of things that you need just on a day-to-day.
Now, a good reporter, which Caitlin Collins isn't, would turn that around right there and go, well, why are you here? Because you have no answers. You don't know who's missing. You need all this stuff. None of the people who are in your constituency can see this, because there's no power. So you're not talking to the people who need you. You are the mayor of Asheville. Right now, you're the mayor of Mudslide Town. And you're sitting here talking to Caitlin Collins, and she's just letting you talk, and you're not answering any questions. Well, then again, she's not asking you any questions.
A level to get through.
I mean, to hear you say that some 600 people are still unaccounted for, that the people you can find are having trouble getting water and food, they don't have cell service. The New York Times put out a story earlier that just north of where you are in Marshall, North Carolina, a 75-year-old man was forced to cling to a tree for hours because his house was destroyed by the flooding and his loved ones were looking on, and eventually he couldn't hold on any longer and they couldn't save him. And I just can't even imagine what it's like to be in your position in this.
Whoa. Wrong answer, Caitlin. You can't even imagine what it's like to be in that man's family situation. She's the mayor. You can tell she's okay. What about that man's family who saw him clinging to a tree and then all of a sudden saw him get washed away? What about that guy? Not the mayor.
Moment right now.
We have in our city never seen the rivers as high as they were in this flood. There is no historic record that shows that they have ever been this high. The flooding we're seeing is catastrophic, and our first responders have been doing an incredible job. The number of swift water rescues they've had to do is unprecedented. I can't, the pictures.
Hey, Caitlin, I got a question for you. Miss Mayor, yes. How many people do you have in your first responder team that are doing swift water rescues? And when she tells you, I think we got like 10 guys. Because Asheville's not this huge, big city that is used to, as she just said, we've never seen these kind of waters. Well, if you've never seen these kind of waters, then you probably don't have a huge swift water rescue team. It's not like Fort Lauderdale. It's not like Boca where there's an ocean right there. So you got to have a lot of people who understand how to do things on the water. We got an intracoastal. We got ponds and lakes everywhere. How many people do you have working your swift water recovery team? I just don't get what, are these reporters just paid to look pretty and just sit there and nod their friggin' heads? Because this woman has no clue. She's making it up as she goes along, and Caitlin Collins is letting her say that because she's from the government. When she doesn't have the staff to do this.
Don't do it justice. And that's why when the president called me today, he's going to be here on Wednesday.
All right, so she just said the president called her today. This was filmed on Saturday. She said he's going to be here on Wednesday, today. Guess what? He didn't go. He went to Raleigh. You know how far Raleigh is away from Asheville? Look it up on a map. Kamala went to Augusta. He went to Raleigh. What a piece of crap.
Flying over the community so he can see the magnitude of the damage.
Why would he need to fly over the communities? There's drone footage being played right in front of you. You think everyone's waiting until he got here today to show, the devastation? You're telling me from Washington, D.C. or the beach in Delaware, he couldn't have been, whoa, that looks really bad. Oh, that looks really bad. And done something about this?
To our city, we can't let him fly in because the only highway into Asheville, of the 4 highways into Asheville that's open, is the one near our airport, and we can't shut it down for a motorcade.
Oh, okay, so I was wrong. Joe didn't say I was coming to Asheville. Joe said, hey, I'm going to do a loop around it. So oh yeah, it looks pretty bad. Oof, yeah, it looks as bad as I saw the news and drone footage I've seen last couple days. Ooh, and now I've seen it for myself. Oh, it's really bad. Seriously? Are we that stupid?
So we're glad that he's going to be able to be here and see the community from the air, see the devastation. We are going to need federal help to rebuild. And right now we have.
Wait. We're going to need federal help to rebuild. Lady, do you know how far away you are from rebuilding? You just skipped over rescue and recovery to, hey, we're going to need federal help to rebuild. I got a message for you. Joe won't be in office when it's time for Asheville to rebuild. Nope, not going to happen. Won't be there. So what in the hell are you talking? Again, I guess Caitlin Collins doesn't know to ask the right questions. What are you talking about rebuild? There are still people missing. You just said there's probably 600 or 700 people missing. Out of your words. First part of your interview, 600 or 700 people missing. And you skipped over that to, yeah, we're going to need federal help to rebuild. What about federal help to get these people out of the mud?
Federal help on an emergency basis, bringing in resources as well as the state. Our governor was here today. It's all hands on deck. Everyone.
Obviously not. You got people, and you've seen them, who are like, hey, listen, I'm flying around. I got a helicopter. I own a helicopter. I'm going to go help some people. Oh, get out of here. We don't want you here.
Is helping, and our community is rallying with volunteers to help distribute the things that our community needs.
So President Biden will be there on Wednesday, but as you noted, that's important there that you're saying he's unable to actually drive in because there is that one road from the airport. So instead, he'll be getting an aerial tour of that. Mayor Manheimer, I just thank you so much. I know it's been a long few days. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
useless.
I just want you to know we're all thinking of all of you in North Carolina tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I want to bring.
Do you think the government is doing it?
Listen to what this lady has to say.
Enough?
Honestly, I don't know how you did not have a formal press conference or something from either President Biden or Kamala Harris. I mean, how do you not say anything for 4 days? They've been stranded for 4 days, and this is the first we've heard from them at all. FEMA is not on the ground there at all. They are not in these cities, not in these towns, and not in these villages.
Does your relative have food? Does she have water? Does she have the medication she needs?
They have a minimal amount of water. They have a minimal amount of food. They were able to get slightly down the mountain to get a little bit of gas, but they haven't been able to cut their way out yet.
When you say cut their way out, what do you mean?
There's trees down. You have to have chainsaws up there to get the trees out of the roads, and that is if the mudslides didn't take the roads out completely. I can not even tell you how many families, even here outside of Charlotte, that are looking for their loved ones up in that area. No one knows anything.
I want to share with y'all some things you may not know about what's happening.
The guy interviewing her didn't even know what he was talking about. What do you mean, cut your way out? Cut your way out? What does that mean? Dude, there's trees covering the road. There's debris. We got to cut that. Have you ever tried to move a tree? I'm just going to ask you. If you're watching that and you saw the chainsaws in the road, have you ever tried to do that? I tried once. I was like, hey, we were in Myrtle Beach and I'm like, okay, let me grab this piece and throw it in. Who? You know how much a log weighs, just this portion of a log? One of those big oak trees, one of those big pine trees, and you got about this much of a cut, and you got to pick it up? And this dude didn't even know. What do you mean, cut your way out? So this next woman, she is a realtor up in North Carolina, and she's telling, to me, this is the best cut I've seen.
In the North Carolina mountains in the aftermath of Helene. Here's number one. If you have friends or family that are headed into the mountains or who live there,
the looting has picked up major steam. I was advised yesterday by a county sheriff to make sure that anybody out and about is carrying, and in his words, carrying with the safety off. There are very aggressive people out there, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It's not because they're necessarily awful. They're desperate. Desperate people do desperate things, y'all.
So just to let some of you who may not be in carrying states, what she just said, carry with the safety off, that's basically be ready to fire. You know, usually it's, a two-step move. You got to pull, you got to take the safety off before you can engage. And she's been told by a sheriff, carry, and not only carry with the safety off. Be prepared to fire. That remind you of anything? Does it remind you of the end of days of Escape from New York, of Mad Max? You got people now foaming at the mouth because now it's been 3 or 4 days. I haven't eaten, and I'm cold, and I don't know where my family is, so I'm a little bit deranged. I ain't had no water, and you got what I want. And I don't have time to negotiate with you, so I'm going to have to take that from you. You see, this is one of those situations where you realize at that moment, money doesn't mean anything. There's no ATM. You're not looking to barter. Hey, I'll sell you this, basket of peaches. It's survival of the fittest. Carry with the safety off. Won't hear that on the news because it would make the little lib nuts go crazy. Their nipples would get hard and they'd scream. Oh my God, are they advocating killing people? Kill or be killed. Kill or be killed. Survival of the fittest. Right now, we have seen people in North Carolina and Tennessee revert to the most carnal state of man. Survival. Yeah, a lot of these people up north think survival is like what happens on Survivor. Oh, you're eating rice and you got flint. It's going to be okay in the television camera. Oh, I haven't eaten for like 8 days. And you see what happens to them, right? Oh, I haven't eaten for 8 days and I got to go. That's television. I want you tonight, it's 8:45. I want you not to eat until, Tuesday. Let me know how you feel. Just go ahead and do it. Just give it a shot. And then maybe not even have any water. Just do that for a few days. And then see how fast you want to run to a 7-Eleven and just mow down a burrito. But there's no 7-Eleven. It's only, Miss Lucy's front porch. And she looks like Miss Lucy's over there, cooking up a hog. Carry with the safety off. That's what the sheriff said there.
And why are they desperate? Because there's no water in some of these communities. We have neighbors in North Carolina with no water. And all I can say is this, the government ain't coming to save you. Not now, not ever, because they don't care about you, the people, anymore. It is the citizens who are going to have to step it up.
I couldn't have said the words any better than what she just said. These people just found out. These people who have been paying taxes, doing everything they possibly can, living the life the way they're supposed to live, doing everything, just found out when I need help, help ain't there. And I don't care where you are. I'm looking at the chat when I do this. I don't care where you are, what kind of comfortability you may have right now. You are literally 2 days away, maybe 3 days away from wanting to kill somebody for something to eat. And you're thinking to yourself, no, I could never be like that. Prove me wrong. Don't go to the kitchen for the next 4 or 5 days. Not for water and not for food. Not even no potato chips. I sit here in my office and I've got, what do I got within arm's length? I've got my oatmeal cookies and what else here? Sugar-free, by the way. And I've got some twisty pretzels. I got a little stash here. Over here, what do I got over here? I got some cashews. Because I spend a lot of time sitting here editing. So I got to have this stuff right here so I don't got to go nowhere. Because I got to make shows for you guys. If you saw this, you'd understand. But imagine none of that stuff being within arm's length. Imagine nothing being within arm's length. Imagine all of a sudden it got dark. And I'm like, wait a minute. Imagine, well, here down South Florida, imagine it gets hot. Or where you are, it gets cold. Imagine all that. And you're going to wait around for some bureaucrat from Washington to come say, hey, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. Dude, you're about 3 or 4 days too late. I'm sorry.
Now, I got to tell y'all, I was floored yesterday by how my community, which is a little over an hour away from the affected areas, showed up at donation sites with water and diapers and formula and some liquid IV. I mean, y'all brought all kind of things, bleach, vinegar. You are ready to help, and we're going to take more donations today, and we're so grateful for everything because I'm going to get it into the hands of actual volunteers. And I was asking people, like, why are you bringing it to me? Some of y'all don't even know me. And they said, well, we don't trust the relief organizations anymore. Y'all, we have lost our organizations to grifters. We have lost our organizations to liars. And so we have to rely on each other because that's how this country was built. This country was built patriot by patriot. And I can tell you this, as a realtor, I know my realtors in the mountains, and I have talked to them, and they know the neighbors too. So I am getting your donations into hands that are going to get it into hands, and everybody that sent me dollars, I got teams of shoppers out, and I got receipts to prove it, because we are not grifters. We are neighbors, and the patriots that are in the mountains, if you see this, if your family sees this, hear me now. You are not forgotten by the rest of North Carolina. And if you are not in North Carolina, then there are ways that you can give. But can I just remind y'all of something? You cannot eat money.
See, a lot of people think that. I got a lot of money in the bank. Everything's good. If something happens, I'll be okay. I'm pretty sure the people who had Bank America accounts thought that today. I'm quite sure people with Bank America accounts walked up to the ATM and go, what do you mean, zero balance? Something's wrong here. I got to go to lunch. What do you mean zero balance? I know I've got money in this bank. Sorry, try again later. If you haven't heard about that, you might want to go check that out. What happened with Bank America today. So you can't eat money. It doesn't taste good. I keep this dollar bill here so I can bring it out because it doesn't have anything, no nutrients I want to eat. And I can't go buy something when every store is shut down. That's why Samaritan's Purse is out there bringing food. Give them the money, they'll buy the food here, and then they'll go ahead and get it up there. They're not grifters. They're actually feeding people. Water, necessities. Because these people can't go to the store. They can't even go to the ATM. Sending them money doesn't do anything. That's why the people right now are taking this upon themselves, not the government.
You cannot drink money. So for those of y'all that thought money was your God, and by the way, that includes our freaking elected officials.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Imagine them being in the same situation. Oh, by the way, I'm sure there were some. Imagine you're living in Asheville. There are parts of Asheville, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And all of a sudden, no matter how much money you have, you could have 7 figures in the bank and you're reduced to the same person that's been hanging out on the corner. There's nothing for you. What do you mean? I don't care if you got $1 million in the bank. Right now, you got a cookie? You got a sandwich? Because that's all that's going to matter. Oh, your kids are hungry. I'm sorry. So are mine. What are we going to do about it? Money can't be your God. Money is fleeting. Life is not. Everything you find dear and comfortable today could be gone tomorrow. And it's funny, when I think about people going to Bank America today, I just wonder what went through their mind. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. What do you mean, zero balance? What if CDBC was in place and somebody said, we had to stop. We can't give out any money. What if we get into 10 days of darkness? You're not prepared. What if the internet went down and cell service went down for 10 days? You better be ready to count on someone you know.
It's not your God. Told my girlfriend this morning while we were talking about this during our run, I said, tell your children, 'cause she's got grown children, this is why you keep a stash of water on hand. This is why you keep a stash of food on hand. But for those of y'all that are not in affected areas, if you can take your donated items and send it to the mountains, then send it with a friend. Make sure you're sending truckloads so that we don't overload the roads, because our first responders are overwhelmed. By the way, thank you, Governor DeSantis, for doing more for North Carolina than North Carolina's governor has. I'm very grateful.
Governor DeSantis. We're used to it down here. Obviously, we have a lot of hurricanes, a lot of things happen down here, and so you don't need to wait when it's Florida. If you see a hurricane coming on the map, you can best bet that there's a line of electrical contractors staged somewhere based upon where they see the storm is going to hit. You can go down the turnpike or go down 95. If they're expecting the hurricane to hit Miami, these people are staged probably just a little bit north of like Fort Pierce. And they're in hotels and they're waiting for the call so that it doesn't take 5 days to mobilize. It's like the hurricane hits, next day, hit the road, guys. Hit the road. Start doing stuff.
Grateful for your National Guard, because we have to help each other, y'all. And I'm going to tell you something. If you will share this with somebody who doesn't know what's happening in North Carolina, they need to know. They need to know that there are entire towns gone. Chimney Rock is gone. A beautiful town. Swannanoa, gone. Montreat, gone. Other towns damaged beyond repair. That means our geography has changed. Our culture is at risk. But most important,
our culture is at risk. Interesting. Why wouldn't the government work to help preserve the culture of these little small towns?
importantly, our people, our generational people have lost their generational homes. This ain't about your granite countertops anymore. Listen, y'all, listen. Tell somebody how they can help. I am but one resource. There are people I know all over North and South Carolina that have been gathering up goods and trucks. Somebody as far away as Massachusetts putting a truck together. Let me know. I can connect you to where to take things. The Baptists are doing a great job out of Boone. Samaritan's Purse is on the ground. I trust those two organizations. I wish I had trust for more, because I don't trust this government, but I trust the people of North Carolina. Y'all, the biggest thing you can do, pray. Pray right now. Pray fervently that people will turn their hearts back to God, and pray for a hedge of protection around all those who have seen things they should never have to see. I'll tell you one more story before I hang up this video. I had a lady come to my donation site yesterday, and her grandson is 10 years old, living in the mountains with his mother, who works in a VA hospital. They're getting the kid out today to get him home because they can finally get him out, and they're worried because he has seen things he should never have to see. When you have children that are seeing bodies on the ground and towns gone, we're going to have to answer for that one day, y'all. Please pray. Please do something. And for those of y'all that have already done something, I can't thank you enough.
Corey Mills, he's been on the ground there for days.
Heartbreaking. Absolutely, stunningly heartbreaking. But the good part about it is that there's good people who are bonding together. And if you were up there, you would see something. You wouldn't see at that point, in its most primitive environment, where people just need shelter, food, water. There is no black. There is no white. It is now September 12th in Asheville. It is 2 days after the big event. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Asian. We're all in this together. Everything the Democrats have tried to do to divide you, you're literally one event away from realizing, no, I need this person. I really need this person. And I think, in my mind, this is one of the things that they don't want to see happen. They don't want to see people to coalesce and come together. They definitely don't want to see people praying. One of our biggest things was pray. Pray. Pray some more. Do you know how that's going to bring so many people together? You realize that? I mean, tomorrow night we do our prayer night, which I hope all of you guys can come back for. It is wonderful. Last time we did a prayer night with Pastor JJ, we had over 100 people come to the Lord. I think tomorrow is going to be even bigger. I think there are people right now who see things and go, man, we got a lot to pray about. We have a lot to lay at the foot of the Lord. We have so much going on right now. We got wars over here. We got wars over there. We got hurricanes. We got shipper strikes in the ports. We don't know if you're going to have food in 2 weeks. We got the president returning to the scene of the crime in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday. We have so much that it's too much. It's too much. We can't handle this. There's only one way collectively we get through this, and it's not the government. Now, speaking of the government, here's Congressman Corey Mills.
Helping to deliver much needed supplies to those hard hit areas and evacuate some who are stranded. As you remember, he helped rescue Americans from war zones in Afghanistan, also Israel and in Haiti. Corey Mills, Congressman, welcome. Thank you for what you do for people in these situations. Tell us what you're observing there and what we all need to understand.
Look, if there were not small quickly or getting the necessary needs in here that the people were wanting. And so we've delivered now about 5 tons worth of supplies, about roughly 10,000. We've actually transported about 12,000 pounds between the 2 helicopters that we brought in. Much of which is the only place that you can get in is by rotary wing helicopter. So we've gone into Broad River, South Toe. We've gone into Banner Elk, Asheville, Burnsville. We've gone into Holler. We've continued to try and go to at least 5 or 6 different locations, either conducting search and rescue operations to drop SAR, to do health and welfare checks on family members who's gone missing, or even just doing distribution for Starlink systems so that we can get our missing persons report down. Because a lot of this, people just haven't heard from their family members for 2 and 3 and 4 days. We were able to successfully evacuate someone from Bailey, North Carolina to Johnsonville yesterday. 83-year-old man, yesterday was his birthday, was showing signs of heart attack or hypertension. So we were able to medevac him and get him out, but also delivering insulin, oxygen bottles. A lot of people, it's not just food and water and non-perishables, but it's medications that they're short on. So trying to fulfill those needs until the federal government can get up and do what they need to be doing.
I'm glad he said that, because what I wanted, he was going on, I didn't want to cut his flow there. But he's doing everything he just said as a private citizen. The federal government hasn't intervened yet. That was everything that he and other people he's brought together, his army buddies. This is what they're doing. Government's not doing anything.
So, Congressman, we got cut off a little bit at the top. Are you working with your private organization that you're part of? And what do you see in terms of federal help happening? Tell us the difference.
So that's really where the missing piece is the federal piece. And again, let's go ahead and point out the obvious, which is that FEMA had utilized a large majority of the personnel who should be here taking care of this to be replaced or repurposed, if you will, for immigration resettlement.
That right there should be enough for you to just say, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. I'm done. You're using FEMA resources to help settle newcomers. We're too busy. I'm sorry. This is more important. We got to make sure these newcomers are taken care of. How about you leave them wherever they are and go help these people in North Carolina? You actually told a person in the government, hey, we can't help right now because we're busy with these people, okay? These people over here, these nice newcomers. Are you kidding me? These newcomers aren't paying taxes. These newcomers are a blight on society. You've got tax-paying, Lord-loving Americans, and you're willing to tell people, sorry, we're busy. Try again later. It should be over for Kamala right now.
We need to be focusing on Americans and what's going on, whether it be in Maui, Palestine, Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, or Tennessee. But I'm actually working with great organizations like Mercury One, charity for Glenn Beck, Universal Air, as well as for Sentinel Foundation and so many others. This is a group project where Americans are coming together to answer the call for Americans when the federal government fails to act.
So we're hearing one of the most horrifying details is that it could be hundreds of people who are still missing, and we don't know if they are dead or alive or if they're hanging on to a boulder like that woman just described, which was so heartbreaking. What is your sense? Do you have any sense of that and that number?
Well, again, we've got about an estimate of around it's kind of the non-confirmed report of roughly 1,000.
That noise you hear is that he's right by a helicopter. So that's a helicopter rotors making that noise.
1,200 people still being listed as a missing person. A lot of that, I will tell you, as we get Starlink in place, and there's so many units here that's allowing individuals to start reaching out to their family members in other states.
Imagine that. They want to censor somebody who is saving the planet, per se. You're hearing Starlink come out over and over. Trump mentioned Starlink. Corey Mills just mentioned Starlink. President today mentioned Starlink. All of that's because of Elon Musk. And this is the same guy that Adam Schiff today wrote a letter, and they want him to basically be responsible for mis and disinformation during the election. F your disinformation. This guy is saving the planet. This guy is sending up rocket ships as an ambulance to the space station. You can't do it. Government can't do it. He's doing it. And now these people in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia are being able to communicate solely because of the device he put together.
I think that missing person report will come down, and then we'll be able to really concisely go to work. We'll find the well around situations. The problem we have.
Yeah, he's out by the helicopter, so she's probably going to cut it in a second here.
So, as you can tell, it's tough to maintain communication, and obviously it's easy to understand why. I just wanted to give him an extra second there to see if maybe we could get Congressman Mills back. I give him so much credit because he leaves his job and he goes into these places in choppers. He's fearless. He went into Haiti in the worst of circumstances, into Ukraine, and he is part of these teams of, in many cases, former veterans who want to continue to help people because that's what they like to do. And they want to be where they are needed. And it's an extraordinary story of American heroism. Of course, you know, he doesn't want to take credit for that. But I do think that I just want people to understand the selflessness. And I have covered these hurricanes and difficult situations in the past. I'm always amazed by the people who show up with, you know, huge campers and just make barbecue for everybody on this who's there. You know, the first responders, just people who literally leave their lives and go to where they are needed and help out.
Fight all the... Okay, so now we've reached that part in the program. If you weren't pissed off before, you're about to get really pissed off with your government. You're going to get so pissed off that you're probably going to start thinking to yourself, yeah, this was on purpose. What I'm about to show you is some of the most callous, cold, manipulative BS from our own federal government that I don't think you can be a Republican or Democrat and not see this crap and realize they're playing us. This is Mayorkas, you know, the Department of Homeland Security, under him. Listen to what this idiot has to say.
Proactive things that the federal government did and its response. The sentiment, according to my colleagues on the ground from people, is that the federal government is not doing enough to help.
Okay, so she said, the perception of people on the ground is that the federal government isn't doing enough to help. And you've seen video after video of tonight of people actually on the ground. It's no longer a perception. It's 100% true. Listen to what this piece of crap has to say.
Where are they? Where is the help? What is your message to those people?
I would say the following, that we
are there, and we will continue to be there, and we will reach the most difficult to access locations. We are relentless in our efforts to ensure the safety and security of all.
You're wrong. We're there. You just don't realize it. You just don't realize it. But it gets worse. It gets much worse. So, I got to show you something, and you're not going to believe this, because I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that this was actually a statement that was made. Hold on to your hats here, because you're about to lose your crap here. Just in from Mayorkas, FEMA does not have the funds to make it through hurricane season. They actually released that information. Quote, "We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane may hit. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season." So you just told Americans, you're on your own. We don't have any money. And you expect people to believe that. You expect people to say, what? What do you mean you don't have the funds? That came from Homeland Security. Government does not have the funds. The Secretary of Homeland Security says a major concern is if another hurricane hits. We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season. He says it's not a political issue and that there must be funding to deal with future events. These extreme weather events are increasing in frequency and severity. There is currently a low-pressure system in the Gulf of Mexico, with the National Hurricane Center says has a 40% chance of delving into another hurricane. And Hurricane Kirk has formed off the Eastern Caribbean, but at this stage, as predicted past, will not make landfall in the United States. What? We're broke? We don't have money to help Americans? I saw this meme and I'm like, that's it. Breaking. U.S. Homeland Security, Mayorkas, FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the hurricane season. I couldn't make it up if I tried. I literally could not make this up. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way, hey Robin, how do I tell people this, that our government has said, yeah, sorry, we ain't gonna make it. Wait a minute. You have given this mother bazillions? You have taken our money from our paychecks and given this clown a gazillion dollars? And you're telling starving, hurting, homeless Americans, sorry, ain't got no more. Not me. I didn't say it. Don't say Barry's being scared. People keep saying Barry's being scaremonger. Nope. I'm telling you exactly what's happening. But I'm only telling you what they're actually saying. We gave at the office. We ain't got no more. You're on your own. How does that make you feel? A month before the election, this should be the defining blow. This should take Kamala out of the running. How confident in the cheat must they be to tell Americans, we ain't got any more. We ain't coming. I really thought long and hard about bringing this story to you, because it's way beyond elections at this point. If you haven't seen the fact that this government doesn't care about you, now you do. Now you know for sure. They're not even making any bones. You didn't get a reach round. You didn't get nothing. Hey, we ain't got any more money. What? You're still flying those jets with people around, right? Yeah. They can come here and you're going to give them their EB. Oh, that money's allocated, Barry. I'm sorry, that's for them. What? What do you mean? What about us? What about, no, I don't mean me, I'm fine. I'm talking about my fellow people, my people up in the mountains. What about them? What about the next time? You understand there's still people in basically northwest Florida who are still having an issue. The hurricane just didn't go into the mountains. There are people in northwest Florida. You don't hear about it anymore. It's like it never happened. It never happened. Maybe the reason nobody hears about it because most of the people who have been affected by this storm are white people.
It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. And so
women.
Absolutely. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
No words. No words whatsoever. I got nothing for you. I ain't got no money for you. Sorry. We got to make sure there's equity because we all start at different places. I understand you had this house in the mountain that's no longer there, but you know, this dude from whatever island, he didn't have anything either, and that we got to we're going to bring him up to your level. See, now you're both homeless. And, you know, you've got some insurance and you've got some land that, you know, you can make an insurance claim on. But this guy here, Francois from Haiti, we got to get him into, you know, a hotel and pay for $10,000 a month for him and giving him some EBTs and some food. And we got to keep him warm because it's getting cold outside. It's equity. But my 70-year-old Nana is looking for something to eat. I haven't heard from her. She'll be all right. Chill. Francois here is going to be okay. Because, you know, we all don't start from the same place, but we need to all end up in the same place. And FEMA doesn't have any money for you and your relatives. You better start getting together with some people. I mean, this to me was just a complete backhand, comeback, double hit across the face. But it wasn't the defining uppercut blow. I'm going to show you right now the defining wind-up uppercut that Kamala Harris gave to the American people today. In one hand, she stuck up the middle finger, and in the other hand, she threw a roundhouse. Let me introduce you to who many people think may be the next president of the United States.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met. FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
I don't have any words. I don't have any words. I hope every one of you, maybe some of you have seen that from earlier, but if you hadn't seen that from earlier, I hope every single one of you just said, screamed out, as I've been telling you, I'm mad as hell, and I ain't gonna take any more. $750? I've lost everything to my name, my house, my car, some people in my family, everything was in my refrigerator, everything in the garage, maybe my pets, my livestock, and you're going to hand me a check for $750 while Francois gets a hotel and an EBT card and a nice cushy first class flight? You know where you can stick that, Kamala Harris? You better be pissed off. You, at this point, better have some seriously righteous anger. I've had it. $750? I can't believe you came out and made a statement about that. I would be embarrassed. I give $750 to the church every weekend. And you're talking about, we're going to help you out for everything, an immediate payment of $750. Are you taxing me on that too? Do I have to declare that as taxable income? What the hell am I going to do with $750 because you've already made the inflation go through the roof? That's basically for some families wait a second. It's one stop at the grocery store, but there's no grocery stores. Like the other lady said, money can't help you eat. You can't. There's no taste to it. What the hell am I going to do with that $750? Oh, better late. How are you going to get it to me? I can't go to the bank. Banks are closed. Can't go to the ATM. ATMs aren't working. They got washed away. How are you going to get me $750? And then what am I going to do next week? I can't work. My truck's under the mud. My garage is done. There's no tourism. What am I going to do? Asheville was a nice bustling area. Lots of restaurants. Very nice. Very Tony environment. Been there many times. It's beautiful. What was beautiful? Go to restaurants. Everyone's making money. Tips. Bartenders. Servers. What's $750 going to do? And you're never going to see her again. And so people today were just like, are you effing kidding me? How is this real? Billions to illegals. Billions to that country. Billions to the Taliban. $750 gift card for you. That's what you get. Benny said, Kamala just told Americans they will be receiving $750 to those, quote, who only truly need it, by the way. You got to qualify for it. You got to apply. Miss Kamala, we don't have any friggin' cell service or electric. How are we supposed to apply for this $750? My computer is somewhere in the Nantahala River. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to apply for this $750? You gotta be kidding me. Like Molly says, Molly Hemingway. FEMA spent $640 million on newcomers this year alone, and now it has no money left for disaster relief. In the same country, this would end the party in power. You talk about an insurrection? Now you got a reason for it. You know you go to work every single day. They take money out of your paycheck every single week or 2 weeks. And now they're telling you, sorry, ain't got no more. Oh, God. Liz Churchill, $750 to hurricane victims, $8 gazillion to Ukraine. She's absolutely right. Another one. FEMA hurricane assistance may include include a one-time payment of $750. FEMA assistance, okay, you can read this, in Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina may include a one-time $750 payment to help with essential items like food, water, baby formula, and other emergency supplies. After registering for disaster assistance, individuals may also qualify to receive disaster-related financial assistance to repair storm-related damage to homes and replace personal property, as well as assistance to find a temporary place to stay. When am I getting that? Homeowners and renters with damage to their home or personal property from previous disasters, whether they received FEMA funds or not, are still eligible to apply for and receive assistance from Hurricane Helene. So go ahead and go to ineedsomecash.com and let us know, when we may see this money from the federal government. It may include. Kamala is on the ground in Georgia 2 days after President Trump's visit to offer those who has lost everything $750. Don't spend it all at once. If you were Ukrainian or a migrant, you'd qualify for much more assistance. But, You're just an American citizen. So don't be thinking that you're going to get too much. What else we got here? That's the same one. This guy. So Harris finally showed up to get her photo op and some of her word salad in. That each of the victims will receive $750. Wow. Newcomers stay in 4-star hotels, debit cards of $5,000, free food, cell phones, Ukraine billions of taxpayer dollars, $750 that would maybe fill 2 shopping carts for a family of 4. And I could go on and on and on. People are outraged, just losing it. But I want you to see, and then I'll take some, some comments from you. I want you to see truly what it's all about. What it means to go through something like this and understand that we need each other, because this is heartbreaking.
Hey, sorry it's taken so long to post this update, but just want to let you guys know that Nugget and I are safe. My daughter finally made it to me on Sunday, and we got to her house. Her house doesn't have power or water or anything, but her house is still there. Her town is destroyed. So her boyfriend lives at the coast of North Carolina, so we came down here, and we are safe, and we've got power and water and everything that we need right now. I'm just thankful that he's a nice enough person to take me and both of my animals in. I had to leave my cat in there because I didn't know how to get him out safely with Nugget. I put him in my backpack because I wasn't going to leave. I didn't want to leave either one of them, but I knew the cat could get up higher than the dog. But anyway, I put him in my backpack and put him on my back, and I opened the door and I looked on the bank, and there was my 2 little neighbors standing up there. And I stepped out the door, and water was rushing over my waist deep, and it was pushing me, and I was scared, and I crossed my fence and tried to climb the bank, and it was so muddy, I just kept sliding back down, and I just knew I was never going to see my kids again. Sliding back down, and one of my little neighbors grabbed me, and he pulled me out the bank, and we got to higher ground, and we just stayed there, and we watched my car go, my house go. My house is ruined. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's full of mud. I have no homeowner's insurance. Don't have a car, any way to get around and go, but just by the grace of God, and I'm thankful to be alive. Me and my dog and my cat, we are all safe. Thank you guys for all your care and love and support. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. By the grace of God, we're going to be okay.
People are like, I can't with these stories. Mm-hmm. She's going to get a check for $750. $750. Her car, down the river. Her house, down the river. She stuck her cat in the backpack and her dog in the backpack and saved her and the dog, and she jumped into that water. There was no way out other than to hope that somebody would grab her on the other end. Her house was about to get swept away. And then she gets pulled out by some neighbors. And as they pull her up, she sees the house just go down the river. And luckily, she's got some relatives that have taken her in, and they're going to make sure that she, her cat, and her dog are going to be okay. Because by the grace of God, she's alive. You see, that's all that matters. When it all comes down to it, it doesn't matter how much money you have. when all you have left is the clothes on your back, and in her instance, a backpack with a cat and a dog. What was his name? Mittens or whatever? Then you realize what life's all about. Family, friends, neighbors. And you also realize right at that moment, that woman realizes right now, she's lived her entire life, probably had a small job, meager existence, but she probably paid her taxes every single week. And the government wants to give her $750. I'm not at all trying to convince you to vote one way or the other. What I'm trying to convince you is to, A, pray. Because we all could be in that situation very quickly. What I'm also trying to convince you is, B, come together. We built a nice little coalition of people, a community here, a little family to talk. It's continuing to grow. We're doing our prayer night tomorrow. We need each other. We need each other in a way that we haven't needed each other in a long, long time. Family, friends, co-workers. I think at this point, especially after watching that debate last night and what's been happening in politics, we know at this point this country is basically like that house. There's a raging river going past America right now, and it's not going to take much for this entire country to be thrust into the water and gone. Gone. Like the other woman said, this city, gone. That city, gone. Chimney Rock, which was fantastically beautiful, gone. America, almost gone. Wake up. I know a lot of you people here are like, I've had it. You better start telling people. Because I don't know how many of these videos you have seen on the news, but I bet you there's a lot of people who've never seen this stuff. They're not showing it. You have to really go and dig for it and go, hey man, did you see this? Did you see this? This woman with her cat and dog is all she's got in her back, and Kamala going, yeah, you can get $750. You want me to basically rebuild my life right now for immediate assistance, feed my cat, feed my dog, help my family for $750. Am I not owed more than that? As an American who's paid in taxes their entire life, is that woman not deserving of more than what you would give a newcomer? I mean, I don't know if she's on Social Security. I couldn't tell how old she was, but you're telling me they come first. And you're mad. You're pissed off because Donald Trump keeps saying America first. Now you see the difference? Now you can tell your friends, when was America great again? When we took care of people. When people knew if shit hit the fan, you know what, the government's going to be there, you're going to be okay. That's their one job, is to protect people. That's when America was great again. America, at this point, he's exactly right. When Trump talks and goes, this isn't the country we knew. This isn't it. It's not meant for us anymore. I don't think it's even a matter of take it back. I think we almost have to reconquer it. These people need to be voted into oblivion. And we have to stop listening to these media people in New York and Washington in their penthouse suites making $1 million or $2 million or more per year telling you how you should friggin' live. And looking down their nose at people who live in the mountains. Yes, this is very close to me. But at the same time, it should be close to you. That's my message to you tonight. Yeah, when a man was a man and a woman was a woman and God ruled their ways. I bet they'll give the longshore workers that 77%. Yeah, and I'm pissed off because I don't have a better way to help others. We raised, I think it's up to close to 2,000 that we're giving to Samaritan's Purse. And talking to Robin and I and Ashley, and we're going to match everything that's come in. So we're going to be able to cut them a check for like $4,000. Not a lot. It's going to help. And I'm only going to do it with Samaritan's Purse, and obviously going to help people in our family, because We know it needs to get there. Not touching the Red Cross. Red Cross, y'all can kiss my behind. Ain't getting a dime. It's going to Franklin Graham and Samaritan's Purse and to certain other people that are on the ground up there. I'm sure that Kamala's pantsuit costs more than $750, right? Barry, look up the scandal about what's this about the land grab in the Tennessee Valley Association. It's from 15 years or so back. I'm foggy on it, but land was in question. Yeah, look at their evil faces. I don't know if you saw that, but when she was saying it, her face had a tick to it. I haven't seen it. Let me see if I can get back to that point, because I want you to see this as she's saying it. Here, watch her face go into almost like a tick. Like, I can't believe they're making me say this type of thing. Watch this again.
Breaking news into the fanfare news feed.
There's no power. And 1 second, because her face just looked very, very weird. Let me get to the end here.
There's no water, there's no internet, there's no cell phone coverage.
Let me do this. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna fast forward all the way to the end. Okay, here we go. Watch her face here.
And do that work. And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who...
Did you see that? Did you see how she blinked like 3 or 4 times, like she knew she was lying at that point? Here, watch it again.
About giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work. And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750.
See that? If you're playing poker, if you're in a courtroom and you see somebody do that, you're like, something's up. Something's really up there. What just malfunctioned? Something you were reading, something you were saying didn't match with what you were thinking. Oh, you're bluffing. You got a pair of 2s and you're trying to bluff me out of the hand. Oh, no, I wasn't with that woman, honey. Oh, and no, I didn't take that money. When people lie, they have tells. That was a tell of epic proportions. She doesn't stutter. Never seen her stutter. But right then and there, her eyes glitched. And it wasn't a bug because she didn't go like this. That was something that didn't match up with what she was reading and what she wanted to say. I hope it dawned on her. $750. $750. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Are you really telling these people? Are you really standing at this podium and telling people they only get $750? She's such an evil person. So anyway, yeah, she doesn't have a poker face. That's true, Melissa. How do I donate to this realtor? I don't know. I'm going to have to look her up and see what her name is. I'm trying to get to some way to get a hold of some of these people because, they're doing stuff right in their own neighborhood. So it's just amazing. It's just amazing what's happening, and it's not happening with the government. I know right now, those of you who are still here, who have sat through 2 hours of this, and I guess right now there's still 11,000 people watching, you know something's wrong. You would not have been still sitting here watching this if you didn't realize what you were seeing was evidence of something being really, really wrong with America. But you have time. You got 30 days. From a voting perspective, you got 30 days to get rid of these people. From a preparation stage, don't wait. Not being fear-mongering, none of that stuff, but there are so many different things happening right now that any one of them could put you in the same situation as those people up in the mountains. You don't have to be destitute just because of a flood. Anything could happen. A fire, terrorist strike, anything. And the lesson to be learned right now is you're going to have to lean on each other. The government's not coming. The government doesn't have any money. They're spending it someplace else. Sorry. Zelensky needed it. I'm just telling you, again, you saw it yourself. You saw it yourself. All right, so let me go ahead and acknowledge Super Chats and talk to you guys about what's coming up while I'm doing this. It's heartbreaking. I mean, it really, talking to Robin's family up there and hearing what they've been saying and how it all is coming about is just, it's absolutely insane what is happening, that our government she didn't even go. She went to Augusta. Man, crazy. All right, let me do this and bring this up so I can say thank you to everybody. Okay, so scrolling up to the top, those of you who don't like to sit through this, that's fine, but I got 100 here from Dub for Samaritan's Purse. Thank you very much. Again, I'm trying to get them on the show as well. Not sure, they're busy if they can do it tomorrow, but I won't stop trying to get one of them on the show. And then we've got 50 here from TLC777. You can't eat money. Will you please buy what is needed? I wish it was more, but Jesus will multiply like he did with the 2 loaves and the 7 fishes. Thank you. Thank you. All right, here we go. Calvin, thank you, Trump 2024. Diamond and Jeep Gal, please put a video together of these clips. I want to send it to the family. Those who only watch mainstream need to wake up. Yes, they do. We are from the government. We are here to help, says Pro Ranter. Let's go hog wild. They're gold in those hills. It's called lithium. True Sleuth. Hold on, let me make this bigger and put this up. Okay, here we go. True Sleuth Barry, did you hear that FEMA and TEMA went to the United Way and trying to take control of the money raised for relief? In other words, FEMA and other government agencies have have taken control over the funds that local hard-hit communities raise to their schools. That's why Samaritan's Purse is where I'm heading. I've heard that. I couldn't believe it, that they're walking, I mean, they're actually out there saying, give us the money that you've raised. Yeah, good luck with that. Paige Bennett, thank you. Love your show, Barry. Thank you for watching. Captain Zlog, ex-FBI agent and government official, warned of murderous in-play false flag event on U.S. soil crafted by our government to disrupt November voting. Can't put anything past these people. Nightly howls, lithium mining, and red Trump belts hurt bad. I think I just got another one here from Tammy Slides. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tammy. Let's see here. Arizona. Barry, you made me bust up out loud on the beat. Oh, the Ned Beatty story. Sorry, I have to inject some comedy just because it's so awful. Thanks, keep up your good work. John Zeller. Barry, today I watched a video of a coffin floating down a raging river. Even the dead aren't safe. Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Hi, Barry. Family, I need friends to go through all this. Yeah, what happened to Florida gal kicked out of voting station? I'm waiting to get some more information on that, but that was just horrible. You guys who saw that yesterday, here in Palm Beach, they just grabbed this woman and threw her out of a voting station. Already gone. We were there. Okay, Whiteville and Asheville got back Sunday to Charleston. A rescue firefighter said can't go up there, public safety, but people are stranded up there. We knew this. This is Maui 2.0. Trisha Whistler, thank you. Vicky McCollum, thank you. Carl Hassanar, you don't go into areas which aren't easily acceptable. Sounds like just a BS excuse in Butler, Pennsylvania. We don't put snipers on sloped roofs. Our current government should be ashamed of themselves. They know no shame. They know no shame. Sandy, thank you. Yes, prayers. Already gone. We were in Asheville and made it out. The government is lying. There's no infrastructure, nothing. You can't imagine. This is a sham, and the mayor of Asheville needs prosecution for underreporting. You're 100% correct. Nicholas Lemonakis, thank you. JNAC, changed FEMA to FUBAR. Really. Nicholas, again, thank you. Arizona, AP News reported in 2023 that we paid $2.4 million for cloud seeding the Colorado River to help with the drought. Chemtrails. Ozark Ghost Hunter, is it possible they are doing nothing to thin out the Trump voting herd? Sounds crazy. Don't don't put the tinfoil hat on, but I'm just thinking, if you're going to come up to a microphone and tell people they get $750 because their life is ruined, then everything's in play. Tracy Day, my niece is in Burnsville. She's stranded. Oh my gosh, she's stranded on a mountain, but okay. She said it's devastating. Tracy, is she stranded? What do you mean? The people can't get to her? How's she eating and stuff? Oh my goodness. Only donate to local churches, Tracy says. Adam, Electric Universe for Samaritan's Purse, thank you. Wish it could be. Don't ever apologize for that. We are both on Social Security. Thanks for all you do, Barry. I think we all know these recent events are not a coincidence. Search William Cohen, Department of Defense, owning the weather by 2025. Where's the National Guard? Comment of the night. Why isn't the National Guard out there? Why are they seemingly never called out anymore? My dad was in the National Guard decades ago. There was a riot, call them in, clean it up, get people out of here. Why are they not doing stuff? I don't know. Hey, Lorelei, thank you, Barry, for doing this show. God loves you, and so do I. Thank you very much, Lorelei. Jennifer Siddell, there's a conspiracy thought that they wanted this land cleared for lithium, similar to Maui. Yep, I've heard that. Definitely heard it. And what makes it worse is that nobody's talking. And when they do talk, they go on the news, and the news people don't ask them any questions. Jason Holmes, what's the link, Barry? Link to what? I'm not sure what you mean. Hey, Trey Yoda Acosta. I'm a 25-year HVAC veteran, Army combat, and rescue vet. If you hear or have contacts for volunteers, give them my info. I'll volunteer for anything. Wow, that's awesome, bro. Awesome. At the work table, Ronald Reagan jokingly said, I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, and I didn't have to even finish what you had written there. I'm from the government, and I'm here to help. The government gave everything to the newcomer, Shotgun Rider said. Sharon Cochran, thank you. Natsarim Nazarit, North Carolina is going to go Trump. It has to at this point. And Georgia. Both the states. Narita Ramos, thank you. Patriot Rob, it'll come as tax credit. Don't worry. Yeah, you get your tax credit. Yeah, don't worry about it. Donna, live in the Smokies. Please find my sister. Oh, my God. Donna, I pray for your sister. I pray that they find her. Sorry to hear that. Already gone. How would have done for the... How would one file for the 750 with no infrastructure? Is the post office going to make a run up the mount? As soon as it came out of her mouth, I'm like, okay, so one, you insulted everybody, obviously. Number two, what do you want us to do? How is there a website? Are you telling people where to go? How they got to call? None of it, nothing. And then she just jumped back on a plane and got out of there as fast as she could, and you'll never hear from her again. Subler, after all this, we're two blue holes are closed tied. Yeah. Yolanda, what time is the prayer meeting? 7 p.m. tomorrow. And Droskero Games, hi Barry, Aaron here. This is for those in need. I couldn't find a way to help another way. Thank you. God bless you as well. Helen Tower, thank you. My heart hurts for these people. It really does. It really does. When that last lady that I just punctuated at the end, I'm like, oh man, I'm done. I'm so done. And there's probably hundreds of stories like that. Ernest Hughes, we can only count on God and each other. Yep. Yeah, she said, but for the grace of God, she's living. Like Abigail Adams for Samaritan's Purse, thank you. Prayers continue for our Americans suffering, hungry, thirsty, and shocked. Aisha Natera, Barry, civil unrest, martial law equals cancellation of elections. We can't give them what they want. Pray and be in service to each other. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I mean, it sucks, but you are right. And Patriot Rob, look up hurricane control patent location, Arlington, Virginia. Yep, I showed that this morning, and a lot of people were like, what? Hurricane control patent? And it was issued. Oh, wait a second. Something else just came in. I want to acknowledge it. This is from Drew. Thank you, Barry, for doing this. Please donate this to Samaritan's Purse. Will do. And we're going to match it as well. And then David Hahn right behind him. So, hug your babies, hug your pets, hug your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, whichever, and understand that you need to pray together and basically understand that the people around you, whoever make up your nucleus, make sure they have your phone number, make sure they have your address, make sure they know how to get a hold of you. Put together a buddy. I don't know what tomorrow holds. None of us do. But we can see so much happening around us that we're only going to get through the next month if we all stand together on this, because this is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it just seems like our government has completely abdicated. I don't know what they're doing. Wait a minute. There's still, I got a couple more I got to recognize. It kept coming in. Boards, silly girl. Hope my little bit helps. It will. And Antoinette Albaredo, continued prayers for all affected by Helene and praying for swift justice against this evil communist government. Thank you so much, Barry. God bless, and God bless you as well. Just say a prayer. I mean, I made an hour and a 15-minute video, and we were talking about it here for 2 hours. But these people, tonight, it's 9:45. You're going to probably stop here, go get something to eat. You might get a cup of coffee. Something may happen. But you're going to lay down with a roof over your head next to somebody you love, maybe. And these people, we don't know what's going on. We just put yourself in that position. Right now you're laying down and you may be stuck. That one lady's daughter stuck on the side of a mountain somewhere. Pray. We all need it. Doc Mojo, thank you very much for that last second donation. Let me put it up before I get out of here, because I don't want anyone to think I missed it. Where is it? Doc Mojo, may God bless all hurting, helping, and praying for help. And Angelise for Samaritan's Purse. Thank you very much. I got in contact with the office today. Spoke to a wonderful woman, Miss Clark. If you're listening, Miss Clark, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me. Let's get Edward. If Franklin's too busy, let's get Edward on the show, and let's do what we can do from our little corner of the world down here. Rest of you guys, thank you very much. See you tomorrow night for prayer night. Oh, by the way, before prayer night, tomorrow we've got, hold on one second. Hold the dough. Tomorrow, 2:30, Trump's doing a big rally in Saginaw, Michigan. So I'm sure he'll be talking about some of this stuff as well, because he's been posting it. So 2:30 tomorrow, we have a rally. And then 7 o'clock tomorrow night, we've got prayer night. So thank you guys for tuning in. Think about somebody, say a prayer, let them know you care, and help somebody. That's all we can say right now. Help each other. All we have is each other and God. Thank you.